Okay, there we go. There we go. Welcome to Current Exposure. I'm all tangled up in the mic. I was making sure my sound was good. But welcome. We are back. Happy Thursday. Current Exposure. Today, I will be talking about the seniors in the Black communities. They are springing up with all these ideals but have no connection to the youth. They have all these solutions, which is cool, which is okay, but you have to connect and collaborate. You can't just, you can just have your own ideas, but who's going to follow you if you're not connecting with people and you're just, assuming that someone's going to follow you because you're older than them? Hello, George. Good evening to you as well. I'm happy that you're here, but feel free to get into the comments. I'll also be making some comments about the conflict that's going on in the Middle East. Actually, I can just talk about that right now, right off the bat. I don't have all the details. I haven't done all of my research to really have a solid opinion or to even pick a side. All I know is that horrendous acts against people are taking place. I don't know why. I really don't know what the root cause is, but I do believe it goes back to when the Ottoman Empire fell. And this was like around World War One, and I'm like not too clear on the actual dates, but I have like seen documentaries and heard accounts about the fact that there was some type of treaty drafted up between the Muslim states and in the Middle East and the European Union or European powers. And basically, it did involve Palestine, and decisions were made without including those people. But then at the same time, the Ottoman Empire separated, and the corruption from within split off into their own countries like Turkey, what was it, like Syria, and some other countries or whatever. And it's a lot of like history involved. So I'm not jumping on any bandwagons and waving any flags. And I heard about what the Black Lives Matter chapter in Chicago did in regards to celebrating terrorism with the paratroopers or whatever that came in and slaughtered people, babies, raped women or whatever. But I think TMZ put them on blast. And what do you expect? I've been saying this from the beginning, that Black lives don't matter to Black people. So why would other people lives matter to them? And I just, yeah, I really can't just jump on bandwagons like that. I try to really make it like a point for myself, not just to jump on somebody's cause because I like an individual or I like a particular color or whatever. I think it's best to always do research and see what you're getting into before you join, because you don't know what you're jumping on to, and I've been following CNN, Al Jazeera, different media outlets and seeing what's going on, and it's very terrible. It's terrible. But I really don't know the full history um, of what's going on. So, and then also we have our own issues here at home in Newark, New Jersey that we're not even addressing, that are more pertinent and priority. So I just don't understand why people aren't addressing what's going on here at home. But I agree, George. Yeah, everybody has to stand up and not wait for someone else to act. And I want to talk about an experience that I had with the WBLS open line. They had Larry Ham on last Sunday. Well, this past Sunday, they had him on talking about his run for Senate. And one of the ladies stated in the comments that she was going to vote for him and she was supporting him and blah, blah, blah. So I replied and said that I will not be supporting Larry Ham for senator. And all these senior citizens were pouncing on me, telling me I was disrespectful. Even the host of Open Line of WBLS, I forget their names. I don't even know their names. I forgot their names. Was even saying I was being disrespectful to Larry Ham. And first of all, I don't owe anyone. Well, I come respectfully, but at the end of the day, I don't owe anyone anything that's running for office for me to just keep my mouth shut and not say anything and have no criticism of them and the work that they do in the community. So, but yeah, I just feel like there's a disconnect with these senior citizens in the Black communities that's springing up and running for office. And these are the same senior citizens who have retired from the workforce. If you're retired from the workforce, why do you feel like you need to jump up and run for office? You're tired. That's what retired means. You're done with work. So why are you in the way instead of supporting other people, other youthful people? And I'm not talking about 20-something-year-olds who have no life experience. It's plenty of people out there who are like in the millennials that are sick and tired of the same old, and then you have people, the same senior citizens, complaining about being controlled and dominated by white older men. But now you have these older Black men jumping into the foray. What's the difference? What's the difference? If you sat in silence and suffered, not even sat, suffered in silence all this long to now come out, like come on, nobody has time for these people to be running for office to fulfill egotistical desires. Nobody has time for that. If you couldn't accomplish it in your prime, because at 69 you are not in your prime. Let's be clear and let's be real. George says, I think one is Mr. Tune. I'm not even sure. They used to be on 98.7 Kiss FM. I'm not even sure who they are, but it was like this group of Black people, and they all chimed in. They all had something to say because I said I would not vote for Larry Ham. And then they turned it around and started to say, "Oh, she has a choice. She has her right to vote." But then that was after, I guess, they realized somebody else could be watching this. Somebody who, that's outside of the black community, or just or even somebody within the black community that's just basically neutral, because what I was saying, I had a point to say and I had a right to say, but they were trying to basically like gang up on me and silence me. And then I tagged Moses Singletary in on it, which was cool because I wanted Moses Singletary to hear the lies that they were spewing. They were actually telling lies too. They were, I mean, stick to what Mr. Ham has actually done in the community. Don't embellish. There's no need to inflate and exaggerate. Just stick to what he does, and you have, that'll go a long way. But he was doing the same stuff that he and others complain about the current elected establishment doing. It's like, it to me, it seems like these people want to get in and they want to become whatever they're complaining about the oppressor being. They want to be it. And that's very disturbing to me. And it's concerning as well, because if we're supposed to be moving forward involves the future, not the past. These people are from the past. You're 69 years old. What's futuristic about you? Then somebody tried to justify the fact that he's old. First of all, they said he wasn't old, and legally in the United States, 55 is considered a senior citizen. And if you ask my 23-year-old niece, 40 and plus is old. But yeah, people tried to say he wasn't old and I was discriminating. How? He's old. Joe Biden is old. What's discriminatory about that? Nothing at all. But they tried to say, yeah, he runs 6 miles a day. That's it. That's what I said. That's it. And you know, like, that's nothing. But I guess it's something big when you're old. I guess it's a big deal when you're old to run 66 miles a day. But at the end of the day, he's still old. George says, I admire Munira L because some people, when they get in office, they forget the people where they live. Oranges, Newark, Irvington, Elizabeth. Right. Larry Ham should visit Georgia King Village. Right. Absolutely. Let's see what he can do with Georgia King Village. And upon information, what Georgia King Village is experiencing has been occurring for decades. Decades prior to Mayor Baraka even becoming the mayor. And he's on his third term. So what is this, like what? The 10th year? So decade before that, like, come on. Come on. Exactly. And you're right, George. See where urban areas are suffering with the slumlords. What is he doing with the slumlords? What are they doing? Besides them being old and just wanting to dictate from a chair, because they don't even have the stamina. Listen to me. I'm not working for any old people. I'm going to just be clear and out with that. And I'm not saying old in a way to be discriminatory, none of that. But I'm talking about if you've retired already from work, you left the workforce, that means you are done. That means you're waving the white flag. I'm not working for anybody that has already waved the white flag to retire. Go lay on the beach somewhere and chill and enjoy the rest of your life, which is cool. That's what I would do. If I was 69 years old, trust me, I would not be bothered with any of this stuff, because I feel like this is a young person's type of game. And I would rather want to be mentoring the youth. I would rather want to be connecting with the youth and staying abreast of what's going on, not dictating. These people dictate. This is what and it's not, there are some people who are in the senior citizens bracket and they're really open minded. But a lot of these senior citizens in Black communities, they are not open minded. They're suffering from post traumatic slave syndrome and whatever else other trauma that they've experienced throughout the 80s and the 70s, which I feel as though, yeah, they need some reconciliation, they need some healing from that, and they should enjoy that. But to just be in the way and be disconnected from the youth, the community, and what everybody is experiencing, like right now we're fighting slumlords. We've been fighting this water crisis for so long. And then you have people that's even pretty much making what's happening in the Middle East more of a priority than what's actually happening right in front of our faces at home to us every day on a consistent basis. And it's not to say that the people in the Middle East don't need attention, because they do. And I believe the United Nations is all over that and they're doing what they can do. But to really just act like everything is all like good here and to jump on another issue is off task. Where are the senior citizens with keeping everybody on point? They're nowhere around. They're nowhere around because they cannot keep up. They can't, if you can't even manipulate, not even manipulate, that's probably not a good choice of words, but if you can't even maneuver and coordinate social media, you cannot lead me anywhere. You cannot tell me anything about what I'm doing. So, and this is what I mean. This is what, like, they're basically obsolete. They're outdated. And they're trying to run for office with an ideology from 1970 and 1980s. That worked probably back then and for that time period. They're not even up to speed with what we're doing. They're not even up to speed. They don't know how to really get on the computer, get involved in social media, and also be present physically. They don't know how to do that. Joy says war now will pay with higher prices. What, for gas? Are you talking about the gas? What are we paying? Oh yeah, war in general. War in general. We have two wars going on, because let's not forget, Russia and Ukraine is not over. Now we have Israel, Palestine, Gaza Strip, that situation going on. And it's like what, 2023, and people are getting bombed off the planet. I really don't know what to do or say about that, because I'm not a military strategist. I don't know what's going on. I haven't really done that research because there's so much going on within Newark. We just had, oh, hold on, let me see. We just had a situation. Let me see. We just had a situation where a Newark group invited speakers with an anti-Semitic history to an event in Newark. I believe it was the mayor's father's, Amiri Baraka's birthday celebration or something. One of the Republicans in the New Jersey Senate found out, and he said that the organization was receiving money, $8 million in state money from taxpayers. So he wants to freeze the money that the Brick City Peace Collective is receiving. And George says gas and food, yeah, heating, okay, everything's going up because of the war. I hope people are working together. I hope people are holding each other down and really being communal and not just saying that. But it's, yeah, we're about to face some tough times coming ahead, because let's not forget, we're in a recession. We are still in a recession, and the bills are coming due. People are being evicted after this COVID rent freeze and all that kind of stuff. All those COVID pauses are disappearing. Now people have to pay their rent. Rent is due. Student loans are due again. And yeah, so people, you can't just say, you can't talk about unity, even with the name Brick City Peace Collective. You can't talk about peace and not show us peace. You can't talk about unity and not show us unity. You can't, I mean, you can, but it's a huge contradiction. And it's hypocrisy, prime examples of hypocrisy right before our eyes. Joy says last week many residents had their water shut off. Wow, due to the landlords not paying their bill. I did see that. Wasn't that in the North Ward? LLCs not paying on time, but homeowners get shut off for smaller amounts. Wow, that's true. But let me put in the comments this story. Hold on, that I believe it came from New Jersey Globe. It's about, let's get into the comments. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff going on at home. Also, anyone get into the comments? Wow, it's not letting me paste. That's crazy. It's weird. Okay. Oh, wow. That's interesting. Okay, I'm trying to put the news story. I want to put the news story in here for you guys so you can check it out. Someone sent it to me. Okay, let's go here. All right, gotta post it some other time. Oh, okay. It's not allowing me to paste. George says yes. In North Newark, 244 Roseville Ave, all tenants had to suffer from the landlord not paying. If you have that story up, George, if you have it available, post it in the comments so people can read it. But yeah, these are the things that we're up against in Newark. It definitely was on News 12. Get into the comments, people. Get into the comments. Let me see if I can probably post it. Oh yeah, I can post it. Hold on 1 second. All right. Then we have Menendez. We also have that situation going on. Okay, here it is coming into the comments. People can click on it, read it, interact with it. Let me know if you can see it. But yeah, so they said that these groups are, you can't receive taxpayers' dollars and pick a side. You have to be basically neutral. Oh, okay. You went live, George. George says he went live. I did see the people. I did see that story when I was watching News 12. The people were like outside of the building filling up buckets of water. 244 Roseville Ave. Wow. So do these people have water now? Because I saw a couple of people, one lady, they went into her apartment and she couldn't use the water. She had like piles and piles of dishes in the sink. And then also there was another lady who spoke about not being able to flush the toilet. And yeah, that was pretty sad. That was crazy. She couldn't flush the toilet, and once again, this stuff is like happening in the city, and people are having their priorities mixed up and addressing other issues that we can't even do anything about. And plus, we got to do our research before we start jumping into stuff because we don't know what we're jumping into. George says, I think they also have other violations in the building. Wow, so where's code enforcement? That's the other thing. Where's code enforcement? I want to also share the phone number. I do have a phone number to call in on the show. Let me put it right there. 973-963-5012. If anyone wants to call in and be heard on the show, you can do that now. Let me get the phone line up. Let's get the phone line up and going. So yeah, we do have the phone line. I got a little delayed due to my own personal legal battles that I'm fighting. But if anyone wants to get on, come and talk to us, let's do it. Let's do it. Let me make sure the line is up. Da-da-da. It is, let's see, we have Google Voice. So if anyone wants to call in, let me know. You can call in at 973-963-5012. And I can just plug you right into the show. And we can talk. You can talk about what it is you think the people should know, what's happening in Newark, what you feel about what's happening, your opinion. It's freedom of speech here. We support that as long as you're not coming on saying anything that doesn't make any sense. You can come on. You can talk. Get into the comments. But yeah, so there's another building, 65 South Harrison Street, East Orange too. Wow, so there's slumlords all over Essex County, basically. This is a regional thing. I recently, I don't know if I'm not going to say names or where the location is, but I recently was talking to a friend. I have to do an update on her. Two friends, actually, two separate slumlords, and both of the slumlords are Black. and these two friends are Black too. And the problems that they're having, oh my gosh, it's just unbelievable. It definitely connects with my point of Black lives don't matter to Black people, because these landlords have done some vile and vicious, sinister things to them as tenants, and they paid their money. These are not like tenants that have rode the wave during COVID and didn't pay their bills or their rent. These people paid their bills. They paid their rent. And they were treated like trash by their landlord, their slumlords. And I was just so shocked, because I'm like, okay, all these people promoting Black unity, Black Lives Matter, to they're promoting this and posturing outside of the community, but within the community, that's not how they're behaving. And we have to get to the bottom of that. I don't understand why that is. I don't understand if it's like something really like psychological going on, but it's just mind-blowing to me. It's definitely mind-blowing. And when they tell me that their landlord is Black and they're treating them this way and forcing them to live in uninhabitable slum lord conditions, I'm just blown away. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I'm flabbergasted, actually, because I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm not saying you have to give people a pass to be irresponsible because they're Black, but these are your tenants. They're helping to pay your bills, and these landlords are taking trips to exotic islands. They're taking the money and not fixing up the property. And I'm just like, wow, I can't believe it. I can't believe it, with so much that the Black community has been through. Why would you want to take people through that? I just don't understand it. So maybe they'll come on and talk about their experience, and then they have like these illegal hookups in the apartments. They have illegal dwellings in their property. And I'm just shocked. Like, why would they take that type of chance? This is stuff that they're just running. The slumlords are running amok. They're running amok. And it's just crazy. It's crazy. But if anyone wants to get into the comments, feel free. I pasted the story about the group. Let's see if it shows up. You can go on to NewJerseyGlobe.com and you can read further. But yeah, the slumlords has to stop. Has to stop. Also, we had a couple of posts. Let's see. We had a couple of posts too. Okay, with the illegal, there was an illegal deal going on with some land in the Ironbound section, and Some type of way is connected to Invest Nork and that whole land bank thing. These people were charged, they pled guilty, and the judge was going to give them up to 30 years in prison, but then they started talking. So now the sentencing has dropped down dramatically to 0 to 1.5 years for one person and 0 to 2 years for another person. So based on the amount of information that these two individuals are sharing, the sentencing is getting reduced. Almost down is 0 to 1.5 and 0 to 2 years. So these people could pretty much be walking away serving 0 time if their information leads to what they usually call the big fish. So we'll be watching that. I'll probably have some people coming on to analyze that, but you all have to bear with me. I had like this whole new rollout I was going to do, but it got delayed because we did some changes behind the scenes to the production team changed up, and even my legal battles that I'm involved in, that kind of interfered. So I'll be trying to bring some people on. I'm still going to have our experts come on at the end of the month to talk about wills, and hopefully I can get the Gays Against Groomers to come on and share their insight and what they do, and what they have planned in New Jersey. A very controversial group. I gotta have them on because they have a voice too. George says also tenants know the heat ordinances. Yes, starts October 1st to May 1st, not October 15th. People don't be cold at night. People should be comfortable in early mornings for shower. So that's right. Heat ordinance. Do you have the link to that? I'll try to get one of the housing advocates to come on too to talk about that. That it starts October 1st, not October 15th, even though we're coming up on the 15th, which will be what, Sunday. We're already 12 days in, and it's been pretty cold. I have the heat on. I had to turn the heat on because it's been pretty cold. Some people are going without heat on cold mornings, but landlord is getting rent for October, right, people? Also, some shut off heat in April and it's still chilly. You're right. Legal services book, go to Google. Okay. Okay, I'll get somebody to come on and talk about that and discuss it with people so people have a better idea of what the rights are, and to also give references and sources to the information so we're just not up here talking about something and there's nothing that really backs it up, because that's been my experience with 2023 is that we can't go into 2024 without any proof or anything to back up the things that we say. I need everybody to confirm people's word, hold people accountable. If somebody says they're going to show up at X time and they don't show up, you need to address that or get rid of that person, because that person is not reliable. Or if people are giving you information, they need to give you proof of where they're getting this from and the fact that it's real information. Because there's a lot of confusion going on. A lot of people jumping on the bandwagon because whoever's telling them what they're telling them is charismatic, or they look good, or they smell good. But at the end of the day, they're not giving them good advice. They're not giving them good information. So we have to go into 2024 not doing that. And I'm trying to build the show to a point where we can come with pure facts and real talk. Now, if people are saying things that's their opinion, then that's their opinion. That's real talk. That's their opinion. They're telling you they hate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Hey, that's their opinion. That's not facts. But we gotta know the difference between the two. And you cannot, be out here telling people stuff that's not true. That's not facts. And have them running around like I have people thinking that like the lady that was taking advice from the crackhead. So you make sure you're checking your people and their sources when they're telling you stuff and they're sharing information with you. Hello, Miss Parker. Miss Parker says hello to me and George. George says if you call 1-888-576-5529 or 1-732-529-8357, they will mail you online copies, and that's for legal services. So this is the type of information that I'm talking about. Like how George, he gave phone numbers and he gave factual information. He's just not telling you, okay, go down here and talk to Mr. Paul, and Mr. Paul, tell Mr. Paul George sent you. No, he's not just talking just to be talking because it's free. Yeah, it's free to talk, and talk is cheap. But George actually gave you sources so you can call and you can come back on here and say, hey, George, what you provided was not reliable information, and then we can correct it from there. Or thanks, George, for giving the information, and then we share and move on. But going into 2024, we have to stop spreading the misinformation, the disinformation, our opinion as if it's facts. That's how people get led astray. And George is saying Essex County, Newark 973-624-4500. And again, if people want to call in, we have the line 973-963-5012 for current exposure. If you want to send text messages, you can. You can do whatever, you can call whatever you like. We'll patch you in and you can share your opinion or your thoughts, or if you have some factual information, then go ahead and do it. George gives a shout out to Miss Parker. Hashtag Get It Done crew, Streetlight crew. Yeah. But my opinion with the senior citizens, they have to stop. They have to stop. They have to share the lane, either get out the lane. If you're out the lane, if you're retired, then okay, chill and relax and let other people handle it. But other than that, if you're still in the lane, okay, share the lane, but don't slow nobody down. I feel like I was being slowed down by that whole crew on WBLS. It was like a gang of senior citizens, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, all of you are going to give yourself high blood pressure while I'm sitting here chill, calm, and relax, because they didn't like what I was saying. They didn't like the fact that I wasn't willing to go along to get along, because that's what they've been doing all their lives. I cannot follow people like that. I can't. It's just not right. Because, and then also, they were not given factual information. They were like making up these fake superhero moments and just pretty much trying to draw people in by exaggerating. It was just unbelievable. I was just like, oh my gosh. Only they believe each other and follow each other. And then you see where they've gone. See where they've gone. They've gone into retirement. So if you go into retirement, stay there. Don't come out of retirement and get in the way. That's just my point. And I don't see what's disrespectful about that. Oh, you're disrespectful. Who are you? They were saying I was disrespectful, like they were anointed ones or God or something. Like, please get out the way. Now I really feel like you're on my way now. If you feel like you were disrespected and I have to waste my time explaining how you weren't disrespected, and then they disrespected me. Ask, what have you done? Oh, go do your research. You're telling me to do my research on Larry Ham. Go do your research on the people that's out there. Go do your research. I had to tell them, why don't you just Google me? Start there first before you start pouncing. But they're going to be where they are in the next 5 years, 10 years. And I told them too, I'm not stopping you from supporting Larry Ham. Go ahead and support him. Do what you will. Do what you want to do. But I'm just not supporting them. I just want them to know. Don't think that everybody think and feel the way that you do. That's all. That was my whole point. And I was willing to talk about why they didn't even invite me on. Invite me on. Instead of, they took advantage of the fact that they were able to, like, basically they were on the live, and I'm in the comments. I'm like trying to comment at 3, 4, 5 people at once. And I held it down too. And I did. I executed. But if they would have brought me on, they would have put the clock on. They would have got chewed up. They would have put me on live and they would have got chewed up. Joy says it's getting dark early now. Next month we change the clock. But yeah, I'm like, I'm nice because I'm solo right now. So I have to be nice. I have to be nice so I could bring in some other guests. I don't want to scare the guests off. They're already afraid to come on the show. I don't know. I don't understand what the fear is about. I don't understand. I guess, or they're going along to get along. Oh, don't go on her show. You go on her show. She's gonna say this and that. What, the truth? And keep it open to the truth, and let people volley their opinions back and forth and have a fruitful debate and discussion. Ms. Parker says WBLS is scripted, sharpened, etc. with their messaging and what they put out in the airways. Right. That too. Yeah. They were upset because I was off script. Quote, off script, unquote. I wasn't on script, so they were through with me. Bring me on. I got, bring me on with these people. They talk about the Black community, this, and that, and the Black community, they uplifting, and no, they're not. They're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. They can't even get my name right. They're so into Black this and Black that. Get the name right, because this is the blackest name you're ever gonna see. Can't even get that right. You think you're gonna get what's the issues, solve the issues in the community? Then they started talking about Palestine and Israel, and I put in the comments, Larry Ham can't even get clean water for the people in in a black community. Like, how are you talking about what's going on in Palestine? You can't even get the youth from out of the streets and away from carjacking. How are you talking about what's going on in Palestine? But that's what they were talking about. Ms. Parker says him is not a viable candidate for Senate. And that's the point. That's the point that I was leading up to. But they wouldn't even let me get there because they were so stuck on the fact that I said he was old. Now, okay, old, and they generalize or whatever. Let me explain myself. Bring me on the live to explain myself. And I'm not saying, like I said, I can't take away the great things he's done for people. There's a lot of people that's done great things for people. That's cool. And he should continue to do those great things. Like the lady said, he got justice for one of her loved ones who was murdered by the police or something like that. And that's great. I commend him for that. And he should keep doing things like that. But I agree with you, Miss Parker. He's not good for a senator. And that's the thing. People have to know what these roles entail. They have to know a senator is a legislator. That's a legislator too. They're dealing with the law. They're dealing with how we're going to basically regulate ourselves and our society. Things like that. And I mean, and as much, Cory Booker, okay, he's a bit cringy, but at least he has legal acumen. He studied law. Now, Larry Ham against Cory Booker, come on. Stop it. That's like come on, like they're in two different industries. Like Larry Ham is coming from New Jersey Transit. What did he do at New Jersey Transit? I don't even know. But I know I saw him there one time when I was there for I was doing a Citizen Police Academy. And I saw him there with the ID and all that. And I'm like, oh, okay, he works for New Jersey Transit in an administrative office. But, okay, how come more black people weren't hired by New Jersey Transit? And then one of his own pop members talks about discrimination she experienced as a black woman riding New Jersey Transit busways or trains or whatever. But this guy, come on. So I'm like, whatever. Ms. Parker says, Ham never once asked the current mayor where are the jobs for Norkers. He was out every week asking Booker that question. There you go. That's what I'm saying. And that's the other thing. You're holding, they hold certain people that's not in their little circle accountable or in their tribe, which, okay, you got little tribes, but once you start running for public office, you got to come out of that. You can't just cater to your tribe. Now you have to cater to everybody. You have to be willing to be an elected official for people you don't like or you don't normally mingle with. And it takes a certain kind of person to be able to do that. You can't pick sides. You cannot. It will never work. If you do pick sides, it will never work. You'll get the operation that you're getting right now, where there's like a heavy emphasis on criminals getting their second chance and being directors and all this stuff. But then guess what? They're getting locked up and going to jail all over again because they're stealing money or they're doing things that they shouldn't be doing as directors. George says, Reverend Sharpton is a minister. Why don't he help the people with their living conditions? Right. Where's Al Sharpton with these slumlords out here? Interview the residents and see what's going on in urban America. Right. The slumlords. You know why, George? You know why I think it is? Like I mentioned, now, randomly, my friends that I know who are black have slumlords who are black too. So, of course, they're not going to hold them accountable. You have to see a lot of these slumlords, just like the ones that were at what was it? On Avon, well, Clinton Avenue and Stratford. See what happened with that? Years and years and years. There's no accountability for certain people, but then they want to go out there and hold white people accountable for things that they're not doing directly. Before we start going after those people, we need to handle what's going on in our community first. We need to deal with what's going on in our own house and confront the wrongdoers in our house before we start trying to hold somebody else accountable, because what's going to happen is what's happening now. Nobody's going to take us seriously. They're going to laugh. They're going to brush us off. Oh, you want Black lives to matter to us, but in your community, Black lives don't matter. They see it all the time, every day. We see it. We look crazy. And then now, like Larry Ham and WBLS Open Line is talking about what's going on in Israel and Palestine, and they don't even have a clue. They don't even have a clue. None of them brought up made any historical reference. None of them even talked about the treaty that the Zionists made with Britain. None of them. None of them talked about the French being involved. None of them. They just start automatically making ignorant conclusions and assumptions because they got a mic in front of them and they have the outlet to do it. All right, people, you follow them, you're gonna be led astray right off a cliff. Right off a cliff. Ms. Parker says they solicit supporters that look at their profile of accomplishments but never experience the person they support in their deeds in the community. Right. Public forum suppression in Newark is a prime example of Sharpton Ham. Urban League, NAACP, churches are not champion for advocates. Point taken, Ham never held current mayor accountable for destroying Newark. Right. And that was, they didn't want that to come out. I just got off because they started talking about Palestine. Then you had people in the comments coming at me who don't even live in Newark. Oh, you're being disrespectful. How? I'm like, how? How am I being disrespectful? Because I disagree? What's disrespectful about disagreeing? And then another point that I made is that, okay, all of you are coming to pounce on one person or me because of my opinion and my choice. But when you're being oppressed, you remain silent. In the presence of the oppressor, they remain silent. They have nothing to say. They don't tell the oppressor he or she is being disrespectful. The ones that they're saying are oppressing them, they don't even say that. They just sit there in contentment, accept it, and they move on, and then they try to tell me what I should be doing or respecting and following or whatever. No, we're not doing that here. This not back in your day. This is my day, and it's the future. Hiding people's faces at the podium. Right. That's suppression. They banned Miss Fields for a year from council meeting. They banned me too. I'm banned indefinitely. I'm the first person who was banned indefinitely from a city council meeting over some nonsense. Over nonsense that's also in court. These people are sick. Miss Parker says, why are folks joining the herd for Israel when not one word about Israel bombing hospitals and schools in Palestine last year, encroaching on Palestine land? I have no idea. Hold up. Also, since we're on this discussion with Israel and Palestine, I can't get into that conversation because there are things that I know from what I've studied and watched on documentaries and read. I also read that the Ottoman Empire, which was the Islamic State of Europe. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but they supported Hitler at the end of World War One because they thought Hitler was going to win. And that's why Palestine got split up and divvied their land, the British and the French or whatever, the Allies divvied their land up. Nobody's talking about that. That they wanted to remain neutral, but they felt like it would be a good idea to ally with Germany and Hitler during his Nazi reign. Nobody's talking about that though. See, we gotta take into consideration the whole history. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I know I made comments a while ago, like, wow, I'm seeing like, death on both sides and all of that. But yeah, nobody's talking about all the facts. Ms. Parker says the Supreme Court upheld you cannot ban anyone from public forums, and that may well be the case, but you have to get an attorney to fight that because the ACLU is not fighting it. I reached out to them. They're not addressing that at all. They're not addressing that at all. Why? Because I guess they're part of the problem too. They're told to not get involved in certain things. Are they really helping the people? I don't know. Where are social justice advocates? Yeah, ACLU to defend our First Amendment rights, nowhere to be found. And the Constitution sharp than getting sweetheart land deals in Newark. Right. Right. Yeah, that's true. As long as they pump Larry Ham and all those other candidates on open line and create the perception that they're loved by everybody and they're supported by all the Black people, which is not true. As long as hey, that I guess that's the deal that Sharpton got. He gets land if he pumps these as Donna Jackson would call them, sorry sack of suds. Pump the sorry sack of suds. Give them that's wait, hold up. That's propaganda. That's his part. Propaganda. That WBLS line is propaganda. You don't go along and get along. They're going to pounce. They will get you. Joy says, I wonder what happened to Mr. McCallum. Who knows? Ms. Parker says, I was done with Brother Umtume and the rest from WBLS. Yep, pocket deals. Pocket deals. That's what they got. Pocket deals. Behind the back deals. Like, and then they pass it to the next friend. Joy says, as Frank Hurt said, someone's going to jail. I don't like jail. I don't like jail at all, man. But Yeah, some people are going to be telling, because if they see what jail is like, they're not. I wouldn't want to know. Nobody, don't anybody get me involved in anything or ask me to do anything crazy or keep a wild secret that's incriminating to me, because I'm spilling the beans. I don't like jail at all. No, no, no. So I gotta make sure I stay out of jail. Don't come to me for no crazy stuff. Oh, George says I thought it was Mr. Toon. Oh, Mtume. Okay, but yeah. So that's the deal. We gotta keep senior citizens like Larry Ham, who retired. He needs to stay in retirement. Stop playing around. Stop acting like you're there for the people. Blah blah blah. Like, we're over it. We're over it. If people really care about the community and really building unity, then they would show it in their actions. All this talking and sitting up and coming up with these fantasies that are exaggerated too. Um, we don't need that. That's not going to help uplift and build the community. Hold on, Miss Parker says, look at the Jewish community coming after the mayor for having a celebration of his father's birthday, caused questioning how our grant funds are being used. Brick City Peace Collective abuse of power, wasteful spending. Yeah, that was interesting. That was interesting because I know that you and a couple of other people pointed out about a year ago. Was it a year ago? About suspicions of this Brick City Peace Collective, and now all of a sudden they're looking into it. They're looking into it because it struck a nerve for somebody else, but it's been striking a nerve for the residents of Newark, wondering what were they doing with the money from the beginning. What were they doing? And George, you know what? Thank you for this comment too. Seniors are at risk on Sanford and South Orange Avenue. Lots of speeding. A senior got hit. That's why Donna Jackson had the rally. And I do want to say we do have to take care of our seniors. We do. We do. We definitely, I don't want anybody coming in and coming up to me, oh, you're anti-senior. No, I'm not anti-senior. I think we should be taking care of our seniors. I think our seniors should be relaxing and chilling, and letting people do what they need to do, instead of jumping up and getting in the way when you had all this time. Like, this is not some sports. I'm and there's an exception with certain seniors. They can hang. But Larry Ham, he's just not that guy. He's just not that guy. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I would not want to go into battle with Larry Ham. Nah. I'll pick another senior. I'll pick another senior. Yeah, he's selective. Selective accountability. I don't like that. That's not, nah. Ms. Parker says, we've been asking for accountability at council. Why is the BA and council incorporators using the funds to party panels? No substantive for our young people that can't pass state exams 3 to 8th grade. Right. Yeah, Ms. Parker, I remember you and a lot of other people have been talking about this for a while. And I don't know what we have to do as a community to, like, get change, to get like effective change, because this is a big deal. The fact that state money, taxpayers' money, $8 million, $8 million, that's lottery money, going to the Brick City Peace Collective. What have they produced? We still have kids out here carjacking, doing stunts right in front of the police. They're doing burnouts right in front of the police, donuts right in front of the police. And many, if you follow Mr. Nork, that's MR period NORK, you'll see all the high school fights. This is what the kids are doing. This is what, and Larry Ham, where's Larry Ham in all of this? Where's the intervention? And I found out that Barringer High School is divided based on race. There are racial gangs of students, and they attack each other based on race or ethnicity within Barringer High School. Where's Mr. Ham in all of that? What is he doing about that? What is he doing about that? There's ethnic rivalry in a high school with kids. That's the future. If those kids think like that, what do you think they're going to be as adults? And what type of environment at Barringer amongst the educators is facilitating something like that or allowing something like that to happen? Where's the intervention? Where's Mr. Ham on that? He's not even connected. He probably doesn't even know it's happening. Or if he does, he probably doesn't care. Ms. Parker says, ageism is a beautiful thing. I will not go away. I'm retired. I am still active. I will always advocate. I don't invest in folks without a viable agenda. Every advocate has their merit. Yeah, I could say that. I could say that. And you've been doing what you're doing consistently. This man hasn't been running for senator consistently. And I'm not trying to take away from him as an advocate too. He's done that too, but he's just not that guy for senator. He's just not. Like where have you been in that realm? I could see if he was there, boom, boom, he's doing it. At least Cory Booker has been consistent. People may not like him. I mean, like I said, I think he's cringy with certain things. Like that whole him being in Israel posting, that was very cringy. But at the end of the day, he studied law. He has put some legislation forward. That's what he's been doing consistently. He was at least the mayor for 2 terms. He was a councilman. He got, he was, so okay, let's put somebody up against him with the same credentials. Not Larry Ham. Like, come on now. Blow him in the dust. He'll leave him in the dust. Like, why? That's not the guy I want to put up. Moses Singletary says, I'm proud of the way you handled yourself on that Zoom with Larry Ham. Oh, yeah, come on, obsolete. They were obsolete. That whole crew was obsolete. And then their little sycophants in the comments, obsolete too. They want to run for senator and bring in ideas from way back then. Like, no, we gotta do it differently. You got this trans stuff going on. And the trans is not an issue. The issue is the conflict with the puberty blockers and the children deciding their future without knowing and without having their full development of their minds of who they are or their life experience. What does Larry Ham know about that? What does he know about that? Is he even connected and in tune with that community? And these are people, there's legislation coming through with stuff like that. And you need to know what you're dealing with. And I love my, trans people. I do. But I'm not pro, cutting stuff off and creating vaginas. I'm not for the phalloplasty either. And you all can go YouTube that and see what that's about. I'm not for that because there's that's like now we're interfering with biology. And you have people pushing laws for this. And a lot of this stuff is irreversible. You think if a child decides to have their genitals removed, their penis removed, that they can just put it back on in 10 years and it's going to do what it's supposed to do? Come on, we can't be letting stuff like this happen. But yeah, we that's why we need people in tune and in touch with the youth that knows what's going on. That can be when legislation like that comes up, like the parents aren't allowed to know that their kid wants to do this or is doing this. Now you're interfering with parental rights. So we have to be prepared. And then you had this whole COVID thing going on. Come on, we need people that's not going to go along and get along. We need people that's going to ask questions. And my thing is, if you just survived, we don't need you running for senator. We need people that thrive, that's going to ask questions, that's going to go against the grain if they have to get some answers. And Ms. Parker says, yes, these folks are in a bubble detached from people. Right. Like this guy, when I didn't know he lived in Montclair until they printed that. I'm like, Montclair? Like you have no idea what's going on in Newark. You don't experience what people experience, the issues that need to really be resolved. You're not here. You're safe and comfy somewhere, and then to talk about what's going on in Palestine and Israel? You're not out there and over there experiencing what those people are experiencing. So how could you have anything to really say about what's going on as if it's fact, instead of saying I don't know. I really don't know. I can't say. I wasn't there. I'm not there. Ms. Parker says plexiglass political prostitutes are counseling these provocateurs wanting a seat. That's what it is. They just want a seat, to be seen, to satisfy whatever ego thirst that they have going on. Folks have gone away from being a public servant. Look at Menendez, right? He's collecting gold bars for what? What does that have to do with public service? And then from my understanding, he's also been identified as labeled as like a agent for Egypt. And he doesn't know the history between the United States and Egypt either. Because if he did, he would not have gotten involved with those people and gave them all that security intel. It's crazy. Moses said the female on the Zoom said Larry has been doing stuff since he was 17. I guess she's been around too since he was 17. So should I continue to glorify and think he's the answer for senator? Right. Right. I would have kept that to myself. If you've been doing what you've been doing since you were 17, okay, at 40 you should have been a senator. You should have been running and getting into office since then. And that's what I mean. Now, what he's been doing, he's probably been good at since he was 17, but it wasn't senator. It wasn't legislation. And I think he's to the point where he's mentor material. And I'm not saying he's, I don't want people to think like, oh, I'm saying he's old and useless. No, that's not what I'm saying. He's definitely mentor material. Go mentor somebody. You're in that stage. I know when I'm that high, I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm 69 years old. I think, you know what? Let's do a presidential campaign. Make me feel better before I die. I want to at least run for a couple of offices. No, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste the last precious years of life I have on this earth. So I'm not. And I don't care about Larry Ham, and that's my opinion. I'm not voting for him. So what? He didn't touch my life. He didn't affect me in a profound way for me to feel like I'm going to roll out the red carpet for him. No, he didn't earn nothing from me. So move along. He needs to focus on the people who supports him. That's just what I'm saying. Ms. Parker says, Shakim, I believe rights of individual beliefs be respected. I agree. Overreach of parental rights must be challenged. Young folks want to have rights, yet parents are excluded is overreach. I agree, especially for, yes, a life-altering transformation should happen, like age-appropriate voting, drinking, alcohol, etc. I find we're moving from stewardship to allow young people to call shots on emotions, feelings when they aren't mature enough to make sound decisions. Children should not be in charge. I agree. Look at what we have to deal with in holding adults accountable, adults in charge. And we have to do so much to balance that out. And we can't get accountability out of a lot of them still, no matter what we do, how much we push back. Now you have imagine your child. You have a child making very serious life altering decisions, costly decisions, things that's going to affect their health in the long term. We cannot allow that. We cannot allow that. That's why we move from a society of child labor, and people can do the history on that. There was a point where child labor was the norm or acceptable in the United States until people fought and advocated for children to say these are children. They should not be worked to death like they're adults and they're still developing. It was like, pretty much like they were treated like slaves and then like property. We have come a long way. That's another thing. But now it's like we went from one extreme and now we're going to the next extreme of allowing we have to think of allowing people whose brains are not fully developed to make decisions based off their emotions. There are adults who are underdeveloped and operate like children. And that's difficult to deal with. But let the children be children. Let them grow into themselves. And why aren't we teaching them to love themselves? And they could be different. They could be different. Now, if they want to do things that's outside of masculinity or femininity, okay, I get that. I get that. It's not wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with that at all. But when we go to start trying to alter biology, and it's going too far. It's going too far. And I have to say something about it because I'm in that community and it's conflict in the community over this issue because some of us don't agree. And we all love and care about each other and understand each other's struggle. But at the same time, some of us are like, leave the kids alone, leave the kids out of this. And a lot of these people don't have kids. Or feel like, okay, I experienced this when I was a kid and I turned out fine. No, you really didn't turn out fine or okay. And Ms. Parker says, yeah, let me get off this topic. She says, we can't entrust our elected to be stewards over our governance and the destruction of every department and agencies filled with incompetent, unqualified, immature folks to operationalize departments because of their affiliation. We gotta get away from that. You can't, yeah, people see they haven't understood the fact that they have to be the government for everybody, not just who they pick and choose. And when you just go in and you pick and choose who you're going to govern and how you're going to govern them, there's going to be conflict and chaos. That's what's happening in the Middle East. The Palestinians don't want the Israelis governing them. They feel like it's unfair. So they're doing whatever to get from away from that. That's one point. But that's all I can say about that. But that's a prime example. We see it does not work. You have to be the government for everybody, or people are going to resist and it's going to be chaos. And nobody will come out on top. There's going to be losses. And that's just unfortunate. So somebody said there's like a war going on in Newark too. And I guess it is. It's a divide for sure. You know, you have factions of people doing what they're doing and everybody's starting to clash. Ms. Parker says a prime example is our water dirty, no maintenance treatment, replacement, stealing operations that keeps us safe is not happening. Yeah. I agree. I definitely agree. I gotta come back on next week. I gotta get some of the youth on to talk about what they're doing, how they're living in Newark. We need to hear their perspective, what they think should be happening, what's missing. We need to do more of that. I want to see more of our young people and less of Larry Ham. Like, come on, he had his time. And it was probably a great time. And the people around him probably enjoyed that time. And that's good. They should have, but he can't have this time right now. He can't have my time. He can't have my time. and he can't have our children's time. He can't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to support that. And if people are going to support that, then I hope they show something worthwhile, because I can't see it. I cannot see. I mean, what is he going to be doing in 5 years from now? What opportunities is he running for president? Like what? What is he going to be doing for 5 years from now? How much further can he go in 5 years? That's my point. How much further can he lead us, our children who can't read in Newark, in 5 years? When they're like in 8th grade, 9th grade, where's he taking them? Where's he taking them? At least Elon Musk could take people to the moon. But where is he taking our future in the next 5 years? How is he moving them forward besides getting a title for himself? Move out the way. Move out the way. Mentor these kids. Show them the way. Show them how to run a campaign. And you know what those people said on that WBLS line? Oh, we haven't seen any young people come forward. There's no young people that could do this and that. You know why? Because they did not mentor them. They did not mold any young people. They're too busy being in the way and trying to get all that they can get, that they forgot about the youth. They forgot to develop the youth. That's why they can't read, and that's why they're not connected. That's why the kids rather go out and carjack for the thrill instead of doing something more meaningful and productive with their lives. Ms. Parker says enrichment, mentoring, and programs that lead to careers and opportunities. The mayor never invested in our children. He uses them as an opportunity to steal. Right. Where are these people taking our youth in the next 5 years? Are you going to produce 100 scientists in the next 5 years, or 100 inmates in the next 5 years? That's my whole point too. That's one of my points, actually. Ms. Parker says, look at every college in Newark, NJIT, Rutgers, Asian, Middle East, and white. They are not filled with Newarkers except Essex County Community College. That's what I'm saying. Are they, in the next 5 years, will Larry Ham produce 200 engineers from Newark? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? They're not uplifting people. They're uplifting themselves. They're uplifting themselves. And I'm over it. And I see it. Now, if I was 20, 21, I probably wouldn't see it. I would have missed it. It would have went over my head because I would have been too busy partying or something. But yeah, I agree, Miss Parker. One Stop is a joke. You know what One Stop is producing? 100 forklift drivers, 100 warehouse workers that stock things on shelves that eventually computers are going to do, because what's the other guy name with Amazon? What's his name? What's the guy's name from Amazon? Bezos. Jeff Bezos is creating robots that do that kind of work. So is One Stop producing people who can like work on the robots? No. And that was another thing. Larry Ham talked about unemployment. And he was just vague and brief about, oh yeah, because the numbers could be inflated and the numbers could be, they could say it's down 5%, but really it's 100,000 people unemployed, blah blah blah. A bunch of fluff. That's what, that's what it was, a bunch of fluff. Just words that didn't mean anything or connect to anything. He didn't talk about any type of programs that he was going to be doing to prepare kids. Our youth, they're not even prepared for the 21st century. We're in the 21st century. We're in the future now. And the most the kids can do is carjack. They know how to steal a car. That's it. Like, what he didn't talk about anything dealing with preparing the kids for the future that we're currently in. AI. None of that. None of that. He just talked about, yeah, we know it's not a real, unemployment numbers aren't real. We know that, okay, once you're unemployed for a certain amount of time, you're no longer counted in the percentage. So, of course, unemployment is higher than that. And what he didn't talk about, though, is there are more millennials. He wanted to throw out stats. But, okay, there's more millennials than baby boomers. And if the millennials start getting involved, the baby boomers can't contend, or the Gen X. Miss Parker says that Rockman calls high paying. He's an idiot and doesn't have a clue. No, they don't. None of them have clues about job trends. They don't have a clue about history. All they know is Black Power. I'm black and I'm proud. That's it. That's all they know. That's all they know. And their little, crews that they created, whatever, that walked around, POP. That's all they know. Living in the past. And I'm not saying it wasn't useful for nothing. It probably was useful at the time to have all these groups, but look where they are now. No, they didn't sustain themselves. They did not sustain. You can't say, oh, yeah, this group is 300 years old. No. Came and went, just like the civil rights movement. But some legislation came out of the civil rights movement. What legislation came out of them? Nothing. Just noise. Miss Parker said, not even Black Power. They aren't worthy because where are they in the struggle now? They're in Montclair, living the good life, sipping on mimosas for breakfast. No, for brunch. That's where they are. They're in Montclair. Oh man, I like Montclair though. I do hang out in their downtown area. It's so posh. But that's where they are. They're not really living in Newark though. They're not really experiencing life with the people. They're not. They're not. Because if they were, they wouldn't be doing the things that they're doing or saying the stuff that they say. Yeah, you're right. They are pretending to be celebrities. Like my grandmother said, they want to be seen. That's that's the same thing. When you're pretending to be a celebrity, you want to be seen. They want to be seen. They want to be seen. Look at me. Look at me. I'm famous and I'm popular. Everybody knows me. Okay? And Miss Parker says, love Montclair like New York, Chelsea, and Village. Oh, I love the Village too. I love the Village. Yes, the Village. It's nice. Nice. Used to hang out. I need to go back over there and hang out. Since COVID happened, we were all locked down. I need to go sip some mimosas in the Village and then come back to Montclair. Oh man. These people are funny. They are funny. They are funny. I'm going to go because I think I overstayed my welcome on the live. Miss Parker says, at least Montclair, you can socialize at night. Where are you going in order? You can. Oh, yeah, you can. You definitely can. Oh, man. Especially like nice summer night. Even right now, you can just go up there and chill out, walk around. It's a nice vibe. Very nice vibe. Very nice. Yes, I go to this spot on Bloomfield Avenue to get some little trinkets. Rockies. Yeah, it's a nice place. Very nice. And just to even just like walk around, you don't have to worry about anybody coming up to you, harassing you while you're just trying to enjoy some fresh air. I get that vibe too when I'm going into like Maplewood. You can just enjoy the fresh air. You don't have to worry about somebody stumbling upon you, asking you to buy them some drugs. Miss Parker says, blessed evening. I see you with your baby. Oh, and Cuban Pete's and Raymond's my favorites. Cuban Pete's are okay. It's okay. I like, yeah. I still, I love Fornos. That's always going to be my spot. I know they have different food compared to Cuban Pete, but I know they both have this garlic chicken dish. Um, that I like. Raymond's. I have to try Raymond's. I haven't been to Raymond's yet. Yeah, I haven't been there yet. All right, all right. Yeah, you know who else I like? I like Veggie Heaven. I think it's called, yeah, Veggie Heaven, right? They're pretty good too. But yeah, I'm gonna get off of here. Good spot for breakfast brunch. Oh, okay. All right. Can I have a mimosa at Raymond's? Wait, Cuban Pete's was bring your own brown bag still, or I think they may have gotten a liquor license. But yeah, I am going to get off of here. It was nice. Good seeing you all back. Current exposure. You know how we do. Okay, we can definitely have mimosas at Raymond's. I gotta dive into that spot. Yes. So, in conclusion, I love the seniors. I love all of y'all. I really do. I really do. But we have to approach this differently. We have to get some young people, fresh legs out there. You can't be just dictating from the seat while the young people are doing all the work, because if they're doing all the work, then let them do all the work completely and just, kind of cheer them on from the sidelines. And once you get out of the game, don't try to come back in the game. Like it's like that's like uh Jay-Z when he kept saying he was quitting rap and then he just kept coming back. It's like, all right, I thought you were retired. Same deal. But you all get my drift. Anyway, peace.